Truly. Oh, I have been
Didn't see
informed that we
as
got
apparent.
it. Apparently we got it. Special shout out to V and Julian for catching that one and pinging me directly. Much appreciated. Absolutely.
Ooh. I'm very nervous about seeing ourselves on like a 5-second delay on the other screen. What a way to find out that my camera's mirrored, though.
Chat, can you hear everyone? Okay. I think so. I think so. I'm getting a lot of enthusiasm in the chat.
I guess we're on a
So
bit
I
of
think
delay,
that
so we'll hear about 5
that means
seconds.
yes. Yeah. Yep.
Ooh. This is magic to me.
Yeah, I was going to say all of it. All of it is witchcraft. It's I have no idea what I'm doing.
So I'm from Nottingham, and I'm allowed to be a Luddite as part of my heritage. I don't need to know how technology works, just to smash it.
My excuse is being a jock. I lift things up and put them down. I don't have to do technology. Not in my repertoire.
Yeah. We've all got a good excuse. I mean, you know how to do it, though. Yeah, exactly.
So we'll just lean on you for branding, for structure, for tech. For...
Yeah,
I promise, I swear on something important to me, I don't know, I guess my life, that I will help when I have good internet and I can learn how, well, and also time. Once school is done, I will actually have time, and I'm looking forward to that. It's gonna be real nice. I am very sorry to interrupt. I have been told that chat still can't hear you. It was a beautiful chat. I need you to know it was such a nice introduction, and I feel bad that everyone missed it. I don't know why, because we can hear you just fine.
Is it just you they can't hear, or is it all of us?
So, can you all hear? So I think people can hear me, and they can hear Bridget.
Okay. Yeah, I had that problem when I logged into Discord last time to stream, and it was just when I had an OBS open, it just blocked it. So, which is why I'm confused about how you can do both.
How about this? I'm gonna just throw it out to chat. Oh, yeah. Hopefully this is working. Oh gosh, this is a bumpy start. I did such a great intro. Damn it. It's not working. Okay, so they can hear everyone except me. Okay, great. And how about now? So I've just turned on my mic. Let me turn it up because it's obviously quiet anyway. Ooh. Spin there. Can we hear? Yeah, people can hear me.
What just happened?
I don't know.
I can hear you.
Okay.
I thought my internet cut out, but then we all just bounced back.
It will just kind of, we just.
My internet did cut out, but also I bounced back. So
Yeah. This is how it's going to be, apparently.
We're going to work this out for next time. The thing is, we're not all haven't all been together to sort it out, but we will get there. Okay.
Ooh.
It looks like people can hear
You get to
me.
watch us sort out live. Yeah.
Yeah, we just decided we just had to do the best way possible. Okay, it's super quiet. Me, I am not surprised. I need to get a decent mic. I'm just gonna hold it like this and talk in as loud a voice I can at 7:30 in rural Japan.
ASMR.
Yeah. Welcome, guys. What did I say? So what did we say? So this is the Leftwave transmission podcast where we're going to be covering the weekly news of what's going on in the world, the things that we want to cover, we want to talk about. It's important to do so, but there's just too much going on in the world to put a video essay to describe the single bad truth social that Trump did or that Elon Musk Nazi saluted again. So this is where we're going to be doing that. We've got hopefully Soul Bunny and Tab joining as the core hosts as well. We have a great lineup of additional guest hosts that are ready to jump on whenever. And yeah, so just because we don't know who was on the audio, should we reintroduce again? So Bridget, do you want to go first this time?
Oh, switching it up. Okay.
it's your turn. Your turn.
You know, as a great man once said, nothing bad can happen, only good happen. So
If only.
I'm Bridget Empire. I do YouTube and other things on this website. My pronouns are she, her. I am, yes. What else do I do? I have a PhD in paleontology. Not very useful for politics, but here we are. There's a little fact about me.
I
Finn,
didn't know that. That's cool.
save me from this ramble.
That's so rad, though. That's so rad, though. I mean, you have way more PhD than I have, so there's that.
True.
Yeah. But yes, hello everyone. So my name is Finn, aka Swolsome on YouTube. My pronouns are he, him, and I'm very excited to be part of this because I have a lot of opinions and thoughts about things, but not a lot of time or organizational skills. So, so I'm very happy to be included. And yeah, I mean, I'm not bringing much in the way of credentials. I will have my social work degree very soon. So there's that. I do a lot of thinking about thinking and have feelings about feelings, and I put that into words that are as accessible and digestible as I can make them. So that's my whole thing.
I can clap on audio because I know it will be quiet, so I won't be breaking anyone's audio. Amazing, and I think wonderful credentials as well. What was the three things you said? Like, I have a lot to say, haven't got the time or something to say, and in my head I was like, the Venn diagram. No trans person has all three. Like, we have to all share the skills we have. And then we have got Turb and Soul Bunny that are hopefully going to join as and when schedules permit, as it always is. But so let's talk about something. I got this to say as well. Can everyone still hear me and everything?
Do you want to introduce yourself for the people who watch this later on the archive channel that aren't actively subscribed to you?
Aren't on my channel. Yes. So
the archive channel that we are all going to run collectively together and put like equal effort into.
I love we'll like know who's done the editing if any. Like, it'll be like different style every single time. So my name is Louise. I run a YouTube channel called Matriarchetype. I live in rural Japan with my husband, and we are living the kind of bumpkin quiet life. But I come from the UK, from the Turf Island that Bridget knows as well. And I don't know. I'm a little bit of a baby socialist. I've been only doing this for a few years, so I'm nowhere near in the way of credentials, but I've got a song in my heart and I'm passionate about equal rights for human beings, which makes me controversial on the internet, apparently. But that's me. Nice to meet you, everyone. And anyone new here that hasn't seen my face before, it's lovely to see you. Now let's talk about fascism.
Yeah.
Just a little light topic to lead in with.
Yeah, totally. Contradicts my like bubbly blonde persona, but let's do it. Well, I mean, there are a few things that's happened this week that I pinged to talk about because what do they say? History happens in a weekend or something. Because did anyone? Am I all right to start? And is it okay that it's kind of drama adjacent? We good with that?
Yes. Let's get
Yeah,
spicy right
might
off
get
the bat.
flamed,
It's our
but-
first day.
Just get cancelled from the episode 1, and we don't have to
Yeah.
worry about the setup. You know.
That's true.
Did anyone see? Obviously, Noah Samsen is doing a stream marathon to raise money for the lawsuit that's happening, which is ironically not the drama I want to talk about, which maybe it should be, but we can come back to that. But did anyone see FD Signifier's segment on Noah Samsen's live stream?
Yeah.
Sure did.
I have to talk about it. Ah.
Sure did.
So-
I think you want to be quite careful with what you say, given
Oh, I
what some
know,
people's
I mean-
fans are doing to people online.
Oh, I didn't even know about that. So yeah, so let's get into the what we can say. Let's get into it. I don't know. Do you want to talk about this, or should we just move swiftly on?
I have like some thoughts on it. It's really something that I've noticed. I'm going to do like the annoying theoretical thing where I go too far into sort of like the general vibe rather
do
than
it.
the specific
Do it.
topics that they were covering.
Yeah.
But my issue is this is something that has come up a lot in the online left specifically. This is a
Yes.
very online left thing, and I have thoughts, which is that every single time someone tries to bring any level of nuance to a conversation, it gets shut down. And I think that, I don't know, like, how much of that is because we are all content brained and it's like, no, one topic has to be digestible for an audience. Maybe it's that, just that people are used to engaging on media and they just have the unexamined, like, quick, snappy without getting deeper into things. Maybe everybody is so used to the waffles and pancakes problem, they react, like people just go, oh, well, what about this thing that's unrelated? And you just want to scream to the heavens, like, please talk about one thing and focus on some seconds. It's so frustrating to balance it. I don't know where it was coming, but I felt like FD was doing a lot of sort of like work background forward. I'm frozen.
You're coming in and out. You're coming in and out. I'm not gonna lie. Can you hear Bridget?
I am.
I can hear.
Oh, maybe. Just
okay.
Keep going. Sorry.
I seem to be back. I'm almost done. I promise. I won't go on a full ADHD tangent. But I feel like FD was trying to bring forward a lot of nuance. He was trying to get to a desperately needed cultural change and awareness in the spaces that we engage as leftists. Whereas Bad Empanada was very, very focused on the immediacy of, like, this particular problem, the genocide of Palestinian people, and that's an understandably immediate and intense thing to be focused on, right? Like, I get it. But what I felt was happening is it was two people completely talking past each other. There wasn't a whole lot of understanding of the fact that FD was talking about coalition building to be more effective in addressing things, and Bad Empanada was like urgency, problem is urgent, and that was kind of all that was happening. And that was really frustrating because in the real life leftist spaces that I have been in, there are disagreements, things get messy, humans are messy. That shit doesn't happen though. That kind of communication does not happen, at least it hasn't in my experience. That's my big gripe with what I saw.
Well put. Well put. Can I ask Bridget's opinion before I go off? Because I don't want to waffle too. Did you see it? Did you see what happened?
Yeah, I did. So for people who did not see it, some people saying they did not see it. So on Noah Samsen charity stream, he's getting sued by Ethan Klein because he basically talked to Hassan a bit and is pro-Palestine. Who can say which one is the actual reason he's doing it? Yes, and so he was talking to FD Signifier. They were having quite. I feel like the actual good conversation was FD and Noah having that conversation.
Yeah,
I thought that's actually quite productive and constructive, and it was actually getting to these issues, which theoretically Bad Empanada wanted to get to. But then he got on. He was obviously very riled up. He thought that he'd been called a Nazi, and he came in like very hot and was not really listening to what was being saying. And you know, we've all been there, but it wasn't a good idea. Yeah, I think you can. Why would you call a black guy a slave? I mean, that's just.
I mean, to give in context, he used that. I think it was ZOG. I'm not going to say it, but like a ZOG slave, like a slave to the Israeli government. Like basically, I'm walking around terms, but I mean, yeah. I mean, I think like if I can give my side, but like you can be right in what you're saying, but if no one hears you, then you might as well be wrong. Like I think that's how it made me feel. Like like not even being assuming to be intelligent enough to add to the context. Yeah, like I'm not gonna I don't know enough to like be like, well, on this side I believe in. Both sides like valid in their own way. That's why we're here. Like taking it a step away from that. Like at the end of the day, if no one likes you and they don't want to hear what you have to say, and you are ostracizing yourself from community, there's a difference between civility politics, which is like, hey, we want to make you be nice enough that you've completely changed what you want to do. You know, don't abolish the police becomes more funding to the police. That's not that. It's a case of like, if you don't have a community that wants to work with you, then you might as well be working on your own or not working at all. And I understand the frustrations and I understand the heat and like and what Finn just said. I really understand the urgency. We don't have time to be worrying about people's lives that aren't affected innately in the same way, and that urgency is hard to grapple with. I get that. But yes,
at the same time,
like
with the urgency conversation, I sort of get like, because it is urgent, why waste your time sort of going after little details with people who you agree on with 99.5% of things on? It feels like a waste of your time in that moment.
Exactly.
I know that he's probably also doing other things, but it does feel like sort of you could use the same arguments back against them. And like, you know, I've enjoyed both of their content from time to time. Like, and I just wish they hadn't talked. In general, it wasn't gonna end well.
If something that kind of jumped out at me, if I may jump in here, is just the fact that like the easy way forward there, the path of least resistance, was, hey, just so you know, this term is like kind of a messed up thing to say for XYZ reasons. Oh shit, man, my bad, I didn't realize
that.
Yeah,
if you spend hours doubling down and then getting mad at someone else about being hung up on, you know, like non-urgent details, what are we even doing here? What are we even doing here?
Especially as the person that is saying, hey, this is for the greater praxis, this is for real work, we should be doing this, we should be doing this. For that person to then be the kind of blocker in the road, or I found it especially ironic. But also you're quite right, and later on in the stream towards the end, someone was called out to be just having spread a mistruth, let's say. And like you just said, we should all be able to have, especially as online creators, especially as creators on the left, we should have the ability to say, oh, you know what, I didn't know that, I'm wrong, I take that back, I'm so sorry. And I think like that is an important skill that if you don't have in general, like then like I don't know, how can you call yourself the pinnacle of moral, you know, understanding if you can't just say you were wrong? And I think that's left or right, up or down. I just think that's like such a crucial thing, which apparently I think that was missing, and I think that's where I just lost my ability to want to work it all out. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And if you spend like all your time like critiquing other people, you need to be able to take critique yourself. You know what I mean?
Sorry, exactly.
Like, it's pretty.
Well said.
Also, yes. Also, I don't think we should be using Nazi language at all.
Yes,
like
the bar is in hell.
Don't use it. Don't use it. Yeah.
Well, you don't need to.
It's not helping. It's definitely not helping Palestinians. I don't know why you would even insist it is. Like, if you think it's fun to be edgy, then you can be edgy, I guess. But then don't blame people when they get instantly get their hackles up, because if you use Nazi language, even if you think you're using it ironically, people are gonna act defensively because they're gonna suspect things about you, and it doesn't necessarily say something about your character, I guess, but you can't really be mad when people assume these things of you.
100%.
Yep. If you're going around and everything, eventually, you know, you shouldn't be shocked when someone catches on. Right? Like that's kind of the takeaway there.
Well, and it's the same thing with like. Oh, go on. Sorry, carry on.
There was one, like another. I want to hear what you have to say. There was just one thing that I wanted to hone in on that came up briefly, and that is, I think that You need to ask whether you are coalition building or speaking to your community. Because, and this is something that everyone, I'm sorry in advance, you will hear me go off about this a lot. Community is shared experience, coalition is shared goal. Shared experience, shared goal. Those two things often overlap, often they don't. And coalitions are what creates change. Speaking in agreement with your community can create change. It can be very helpful, it can be very validating, but is it challenging the systems that are creating those negative experiences? Usually no. Usually no. Again, it absolutely can, but you need coalitions to actually make changes on the systemic level. And what's frustrating to me about what Bad Empanada was doing is it did seem to be more about the firebrand intensity and less about the actual like process of coalition building. And I know that this like very, very quickly veers into respectability politics and tone policing. So I really don't want it to be like, oh, just be nicer. That's not what it's about. That's not what it's about at all. Be angry, be mad. But if you're using Nazi terminology, you're going to get called out on it, and you should. Like, that's part of it, right? That's part of it. You're going to make mistakes. You should be called out on that kind of thing. And the last thing is that if you are doubling down so hard on the anti-Semitism side of things, on the fact that Israel has their like Jewish supremacy structure that they do, you are helping them blur the line between Judaism and Zionism. You are helping them do that. You're assisting. So when you're assisting that and you're using Nazi terminology, bruh, like what does that look like? Sorry, I'm done. Sorry to go off on a tangent.
No, I completely agree. No, I completely agree. Like, what I don't know. It sounds so cheesy leftist to talk about the greater good, but I do think that that's what this conversation comes into. Like you said, what is it all adding to? Like in my mind, I go into this hypothetical of like, yeah, there is a world where Bad Empanada being controversial gets him more views, more people watch his good video essays that cover good information that they need to see, and they go off and change their minds. Like I can see like that's a potential pipeline to a better future. But I also think like Bad Empanada and FD Signifier working together on a video that does an FD Signifier level of good, like hits millions or something, and that sees more, people see that more and they learn more and it changes. Like I posed goals that Bad Empanada had, and I just, it's a shame because he's a great, he's got a lot of great things to say and he's very well educated about it, but if he doesn't have anyone that wants to work with him in the leftist spaces, then that will just go unheard, like I said earlier, and that's a shame almost. There was another thing that we could maybe segue to, but I had this, I think it was maybe a tweet or a thread about this subject, and it was someone reacting. I think it might have even been in the ContraPoints Reddit, which we'll come back to that, which I still scan for content reasons, and it was like, leftists are always like saying like, oh, we need to stop infighting and work together, and then it's like the call is coming from inside the house. They're actually critiquing someone on the left to say that. But I had this thing of like, let's not forget that even your favorite leftist content creator is on a platform run by pretty much likely to be fascists at this point. Probably everyone on the left has a stronger opinion than they're putting out there, but they just physically can't say what they want to say. I mean, I'm generalizing. I'm not saying that's the case for everyone, but like, you can't say, I think it was making fun of the idea of like the end of every leftist video essay just says like, what can we do? We can touch grass and build community. And it's like, yes, all those things are true. There are certain books about what we can do. No, it was me too. That's why I mentioned it, because I was like, that's what I think, that's like verbatim what I've said. But like, there is more we can do. And there's more that's been done in the past when situations have got this bad. We can't be saying that shit on Meta. I can't be saying that on YouTube. Like, of course not. Like, and I think Bad Empanada comes into this because like I get the frustration and I get the need to say bigger things. I think like Jessie Gender just released a video on their second channel. Like the revolution won't be uploaded. We can't say what. I mean, I always just point to history. I'm like, what happened in history when the people were mass oppressed and no one had any money? Let's just look at a history book. in a few cases that there was like a proper revolution, but like we're all kind of YouTuberized, you know? And so I get the frustration. I do, but I can't say anymore. Literally, I can't say anymore. Anyway, la la la. Let's talk about Hassan Piker getting subpoenaed.
We're gonna find that one of us is gonna be on the thumbnail of one of those videos next week.
I mean, luckily today we're streaming from my channel, which is the smallest. So I doubt. I love. I can like fly under the radar, and I'm like, no one knows who I am yet, and I'm in this safe little place, and I'm like, pew pew pew. I can say things. The minute I actually,
Well, this is a dangerous gambit. What you're doing now, then.
I know. I mean, I'm ready. I'm ready. But yeah. To move on to then. So before we run out of time, but Hassan Piker got subpoenaed by the American government, the Treasury. Am I right in thinking? For his trip to Cuba. I mean, this moves into the argument about like actually leftists doing real work. But did everyone see about this, or is this news to certain people? Do we even know who Hassan Piker is?
Yes.
It would be wild to run into someone who engages on the online, like in the online left, even a little bit, and doesn't know who Hassan is at this point. It would be amazing. Like, I'm not saying that would be bad, but it would be like, wow.
And then you get
Incredible.
to introduce him to them. Be like, right, take a seat, take several seats, have a cold shower ready.
If you're right, though, I feel like, especially like the last time I checked, they hadn't actually served the subpoena. They just said on Fox News that they're going to.
Yeah, I heard that.
Which is a weird way to do it.
And this administration, maybe they'll mess it up.
I would love to be like
around Los Angeles.
Yeah.
At some point, I would love to like get our whole team together and just have like a Hassan conversation. Because not even like, because I know that he's a very, very divisive person, but that's actually like, to me, that sign of sort of what leftist values are, right? Like, there should be space for disagreement. There should be that messiness. There should be that humanity. There should be the ability to kind of like talk about how complex humans are and our processes of change are as well. And I really think that he boils all of that down kind of into one person. And what's so fun for me, like, I like Hassan personally. I don't think he's perfect. He's a guy. Like, he's a human being. Of course he's not. But I like him because he captures all of that, like all of those issues on the left and how we communicate and how humans work. But also, he is a young, hot, charismatic socialist, and the fascists hate him.
Absolutely.
He is everything that they want to be. Like, it's so funny. It is so funny. He looks like he walked off of like an old Russian propaganda poster. It's very funny to me, and it makes them so mad. And I love it.
Agreed. No, I agreed. He's got his problems. We all do, but like, I think, like I was just trying to say, I hate the term "the greater good." I think we need to make a new term for that. But generally, you know, moving the conversation more left, calling people accountable, like he is good at that. I feel like with Hassan as well, like, he's so confident in what he is and he isn't. Like, he knows he's not transphobic. He has a long history of that. And you can clip him out of context and people can be misunderstood and think he's transphobic. But he's so confident in himself that he doesn't even try and like fight it anymore. So I can understand from people that have like just found him now, they'll see the latest even year of clips and they'll be like, well, he's not ever denied it. Maybe he is transphobic. Like, but it's kind of like, it's like the One Piece anime. Like, you have to either have been watching it from the beginning to understand the story, or you just have to catch on halfway through. There's no possibility to rewatch everything. So like, I get.
I would not. Do not start the One Piece anime halfway through. You'll be so confused. You'll have no idea what's happening.
But like, that's what I mean. You have to watch the whole thing, which is like half a lifetime. But like, so yeah, I don't think he's perfect. I think again, like, offense is something felt, it's not something intended, and that's, again, like, he can fall into misogyny and stuff, and he can be a bit like controversial, but like, I don't care. 99% of him is helping the situation, you know. And like you say, I love, you know what I love? When the Fox News like cast and stuff, they're covering him, and you can tell that they find him funny, attractive. Like, they don't really care about what he's saying, and they like let out a little smirk at his jokes, or they're like putting his bad policies online, and it's like he wants to feed children, and it's like this is golden. This is fantastic. Like, what is the world doing? So I mean, yeah, that's my opinion. What about you, Bridget?
That's what they did with AOC when she first got elected, right? They're like, she wants to do free healthcare, and it was like, yeah.
Great. And Zoran as well. I think they got him elected.
Yeah, exactly. Like you have to sort of, they don't know their audience as much as they think they do. This is part of the problem.
100%.
Yeah. No, I agree. I always think I'm probably way too sympathetic to some compared to what other people say about him. If Baden Panada's watching this, he won't be very happy with that. But that's fine. But no, I do think he's generally I do think he's generally a force for good. I think he's on there all the time. He's doing certain things. The thing is, like, a lot of the critiques around it, some of them are valid. Like a lot, if you don't fuck with electoralism, he's doing a lot of that right now. Whatever. I think Graham Plattner, you shouldn't support that guy. He does. It's a thing, I guess. We can talk about that if we ever do a big episode or whatever. But generally,
I'm down for that.
If you get selected in Maine, let's do it.
Gosh. Like generally, it's generally he's a force for good, and I think having someone actually cover the news from a leftist perspective is kind of necessary, especially at the how often he does it, because otherwise you have to look, not that you shouldn't look for other sources as well, but it's good to actually have, like, you not feel like you're going crazy when everyone's just, so in this country especially, like every news station and stuff is like, trans people are demons, all Muslims should go in the bin, like, every day, and it's like, wow, this sucks. You can't, a lot of things that places that try to split off and do something different, they either they're not successful, or they're definitely not the billionaire money, or they get sort of co-opted or sort of radicalize themselves into more conservative beliefs, like some places that I will not speak about. But if we ever get John the Duncan on, I'm sure he'll be happy to elaborate on that one. I will not do that without him here.
I can't wait till that episode. I think I know who you mean. 100%. He's just unapologetic, and I feel like as well, like, the average person is also watching everything happen. The average wine mum in America, the average, 20-year-old boy in the UK, like, we're watching everything happen. Everyone's watching it together, and like, mass media has just Overton window moved so far right that it can be quite discombobulating to even watching it ironically. I'm like, what? That's wrong. Whereas people like Hassan Piker, for better or for worse, like, they're just actually covering the truth and saying what people think. Like, I don't know if you two have this similarly, but like, if I'm working on a video essay and I'm knee deep in right wing propaganda and media and videos and stuff, I can find myself slowly but surely, like, not remembering, like, oh, this is all bullshit. Like, this isn't like a different nuance of a specific coverage, like you said about trans people. It's like, I have to step back and be like, why are trans people in their mouths? Like, the whole system is propaganda, let alone this one piece of media. Whereas, like, someone like Hassan Piker and other not mainstream, but like well-known leftist news coverers are so crucial, because he's also just covering the truth. And it's like, I mean, I sound like a conspiracy theorist, like, he has the truth, but I think it is important that he is bringing nuance to conversation that the mass media just isn't. And like I say, for the greater good of things, I think that's the main reason I will probably keep supporting him. I agree with the electoral issues, and I agree with the Graham Plattner issue and stuff, but
I'm sympathetic to his position on electoralism. Like, I could be accused of being a bit of a lib of that. I think that we need to work, and you think that in the meantime, obviously, we can't vote ourselves, we probably won't be able to vote as well ourselves into socialism. But in the meantime, it'd be better to actually make life better for some people. In the meantime, as well, obviously, like, if you think that's it's a waste of energy, don't do that. And it's arguably much better to do in other places. But it doesn't mean that we shouldn't also be working on that, or maybe not us, but someone else working for that isn't a bad thing, even if we are working on other things. Like in the UK, like, do I think Zach Polanski's going to save the world? No, but like, I think that if he got in the UK, it'd be a lot better place, and it'd help trans people out a lot, it'd help immigrants out a lot, help Muslims out a lot. There's a lot of us who would benefit. Would he save the world? Probably not. Would he give us into socialism? Probably not, but it'd be less bad for a while. And that's something that would be nice in the short term. And you don't have to condemn someone for, trying to make the world a better place a little bit. even though it's not going to actually achieve our goals. I mean, this is
It's
part of like, why they
Sorry,
got
go
him,
on.
why they tried to subpoena. Sorry, it's part of why they tried to subpoena him in the first place, right? Is because like, if you're going to Cuba and you're doing an alternative narrative on Cuba, which you don't get a lot in mainstream media in any of our countries, I'm assuming, unless Canada's really cool about Cuba all of a sudden, like it's very easy for them to like, especially because they've been posturing like they're about to go after Cuba, and suddenly you have people trying to make people be like, well, this is a normal country. Look at these people; they're humans too. They deserve dignity and respect, and to not live under a horrendous blockade. That kind of fucks with their narrative. And the Trump administration isn't very subtle, and they don't know how to be like, just kind of cancel as media appearances. They have to be shown to be strong and forceful, because they're run by fascists. I digress. Finn, what you were going to say?
Take it away, Finn.
Firstly, fire. Secondly, sounding conspiratorial. I'm going to sound conspiratorial a lot on this podcast. I'm sorry in advance, but it's because the world is run by a neoliberal cabal of billionaire pedophiles. The conspiracy has been here the whole time.
Unfortunately,
we do live in
proven
a
true.
conspiracy world. Yeah, like we live in a conspiracy world. So if you tell me, this like group of just like rich elite white nationalists is doing this horrifically evil thing, I'm gonna be like, yeah, probably. I would believe that. But coalition building. So thinking about Zach specifically, I think Avi Lou as well. The fact that these two men are very much what we need in this current moment in history. They are anti-Zionist, Jewish, socialist guys. They have activism backgrounds. Zach Polanski is gay. They exist at very, very salient intersections of what a person can be right now for this particular moment, right? And I think that that's really worth looking at for sort of the opposite reason why I think that Graham Plattner's intersections of identity are also very important to look at. For the same reason why I think that what FD was saying is so vital, and for the same reason why I think what Bad Empanada was saying, I know I kind of went off on Bad Empanada, but like I get where he was coming from. I think that he was being a little bit stubborn, a little bit content focused, like, me, the guy who's right about things, not necessarily just being like, yeah, I shouldn't have said that, my bad, but like, can we talk about the urgency of the issue, right?
Yeah.
He's right. He's correct. And that's the thing is, I think too many people are hung up on what is right, what is wrong, what is needed, what is not, that they're missing the fact that as long as people are pushing in the correct direction, like as long as people are pushing for that progress, as long as people are pushing against the neoliberal white nationalist elite pedophiles, yeah, that's the enemy. That is the common enemy. That's what we need to be focused on, right? And so all of that to say that I wish people didn't get so hung up on thinking that there is a single tangible goal that like once we get there, we're done. Like, no, progress is linear. We're never done. And I think that's why a lot of people whom have been mentioned already in this podcast, but not named directly, eventually cave, and they achieve their position of influence and privilege, and then they fall back on basically just selling out their values if they ever embodied them in the first place. And it's because they realize like, oh, well, we'll never fully overthrow capitalism. Okay, we might not, but eventually people will. People will. Like, that's going to happen eventually, and I would rather be someone who existed in that cycle and pushed for an entirely new cycle, a better thing that is healthier for the world and everyone who lives on it. I'd rather be part of that than resigned to this horribly violent, oppressive system so that I can get mine while I'm here, And so I just need people to engage with the reality that someone not being perfect doesn't really matter. Are they the good person for this current moment in history? That's what we need to be asking ourselves. And I think Zach Polanski is, I think Zora Mamdani is, I think Abby Lewis is, I think Hassan Piker is as well.
I agree.
Yeah.
Sorry, I went off on a tangent again.
No, I agree. I wanted to jump off on one thing about that as well. I've been trying to form the words to this as well recently. But like, I can understand so much of the urgency and the frustration. I'm one of that type of leftist, actually. Like, I remember when it all started kicking off with Gaza, I remember crying on stream because there was just two white men talking about the definition of genocide, and it was actively why it was happening. And I think since that moment I'm changed. Obviously, everyone else I'm sure has a similar vein, but like I also, in the same vein, have a kind of socialism is inevitable mindset slightly, but that inevitability is probably going to be generations down the line, if not hundreds of years down the line. And I think that some of the discourse is happening because there's a sense of like, we should be moving towards this goal, but I know I'm not going to see it happen, so let's quicken the process, or let's do it my way, or let's do it a different way, which I also get too. I think we all have to do that as a group to get to where we need to be. That's like kind of the point. But I think I'm kind of giving this feeling of like, okay, well, not every culture is going to get there in the same time. We might not see it in our generation. The world might just be a little bit closer to that goal by the time I have children or they have children. And like, I don't know. And so how can I see how this is why I haven't put it together in words yet, but like, I feel like with Bad Empanada, I understand completely the need for like damage reduction, and we should do what we can to save as many lives as possible. Full stop. So those two things coexist to me. Like, and so that's why I would say I'm not on the side of the what's it? It begins with E, where you make it worse quicker now, so that it brings in the
accelerationism.
Accelerationism, yeah. I can never remember that word. I think about that, and I wonder about that a lot, because I always find the people talking about accelerationism are usually not the minorities that are oppressed, and therefore I wonder, well, okay, maybe it's easy for certain people to say that. Like, so I don't know. I'm somewhere in this weird circle of like, I think damage control right now is good, and that's why, sorry to bring it back, that's why I think there is a lot to be said about electoral politics, because it can act as harm reduction, and it can save lives that if we don't do that, they won't be saved. And yet I also still think down the line we should be working towards this long-term socialist or communist end goal. And I do think there's an element that will be inevitable if neo-feudalism continues down this path. No one has any jobs from AI. Everything's too expensive. We've run out of oil in the planet. The planet is heating at a yearly basis. What are we meant to do? Or just pop into the office and say, oh, hi, how was your weekend? Like, that's just physically not, it's already, the thing is, that's already falling apart. So it's going to continue to fall apart. Like, I used to be a translator in the Japanese English translation industry. My job was already basically half destroyed by AI. Like 10 years, that's 10 years ago. Like, it's already started to happen. So I do think it is inevitable. And I think if we can prevent as much harm on the way, then good. I don't know. It's a bit of a non-answer, but I hope that makes sense. So that's why, I'm for the Hassans of the world.
Yeah, it does make sense.
I mean, I understand too. You know, like when this shit started kicking off, and a lot of people's response was to post like endlessly about anti-Semitism and not mention the actual stuff. I was pissed off as fuck. You know, we're in a different moment now, but I understand why that would still get to you a little bit. I mean, not to the degree you are. I don't think it matters that someone makes a stream vlog about Zootopia. I don't think that doesn't matter in the grand scheme of anything. But fine. But yeah, no, I understand that completely. What was I going to say? I had a thing I was going to say. No, it's gone. But yeah, so I think yes. I like if you think it's we're never gonna get anywhere. If you think it's all doomed, I don't think the answer to that is to give up or to turn to the other side or to anything like that, because this just isn't going to work. Why would you not, like, even if it's not going to work, doing the right thing is useful in and of itself, and we should be looking to do that, and we should be able to go out and be able to, like, you know, on a deathbed say, like, I did my fucking best, I tried, I did what I could to make the world a better place, even if it was just a little bit. I did something, rather than folding over and be like, well, the future generations can all go suck my dick or whatever it is, you know.
Hey, we are joined by another host of the Leftwave Transmission podcast. Hello, my darling. How are you doing? Thank you for joining.
Hello. Thank you. Sorry, I'm moving, so it's
I
the
see.
last, and I leave Thursday morning, likely, or afternoon. So some wrapping up, but I'm here. Sorry.
Yay! Thank you for joining.
Welcome.
It's okay.
We're just in time. Are we all good for time for like 10 more minutes, gang? Just to
Yeah.
catch up with Soul Bunny, yeah?
Yeah.
Bridget, I know it's
Yeah.
late your end. I think like as well, like I think the podcast will be a kind of in and out system if people have to go early or come late. Like I think that's bound to happen. But Soul Bunny, tell us
I'm
about
fine for now.
yourself. Yeah, cool. Tell us, like, introduce yourself. How you doing? Welcome to the podcast as a host.
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. Like I said, I'm about to start releasing. I'm assuming I'm pushing for next Tuesday. So, yeah, it's settled. I'm excited for Pride Month.
Oh
Yeah, as far as me, it was a very interesting weekend. Some of us saw the Noah Samsen live stream.
yeah. Yes.
We've just been talking
I
about that,
definitely
yeah.
saw Finn. I saw you in the comments during the live, like when it was live with a particular person with the name. I was used the abbreviations BE.
Yeah.
Um, and I'm not really used to seeing
Iconic.
people talk to FD like that, especially when they're a very understanding person. They're trying to come to some. They're trying to come to some productive understanding, but it was just like I saw someone really hot headed that wasn't understanding the rules of engagement, is what I call it as a black, because that's kind of how I deal with people. There's rules with engagement. There's a way you're gonna have to talk to me as a black person or trans person that I will only engage with, and if you can't, we're not gonna get anywhere. And that's kind of what you saw. Also, I was kind of I had to get to it, but I saw iDubbbz was on. I didn't know he was being one of the people, but I wanted to go and just kind of I'm gonna like watch that to see what things they do talk about.
Yeah.
But
I haven't seen that yet either.
yeah, I think that happened yesterday with iDubbbz, but that is kind of for me. I want to kind of like see like the growth, because like I think my one critique of iDubbbz is like I am so glad he's left us. I'm so glad he's woken up and gotten better. I mean, that's great. I'm glad he speaks on Palestine. I'm glad he's for fundraisers and whatnot. I also still need you to do something for the black people that you built your career harming. Like you stepped on black people to get to your wealth, and I have lived with the consequences of because he opened the gateways for the N word for particularly Gen Z. Because millennials, whatever got them saying it on Call of Duty, I was too young for that, whatnot. But like for Gen Z, we were too young for Call of Duty on Xbox Live back then. So generally, so it was creators like iDubbbz that kind of like brought in that kind of language within, because at the time the youth was Gen Z. Like we were all minors during iDubbbz's height of careers. So I just kind of like the introduction of that word. It just like never left us within the space, and now it's just like it's just a word phrase that they pulled from this video. How I kind of explain in my video is like, say you get one person that watches them, they bring and then they maybe show them that, or they just have that phrase, and after like 3-4 people, like it's removed from iDubbbz being the original source where that it's just a word. Phrase comes from, or at least from, because iDubbbz didn't create that, but he definitely popularized that phrasing within Gen Z online, or not just Gen Z, but just people online in general, but especially the most susceptible, which was Gen Z, because they weren't using it prior. Other folks, I mean, if they were already dumb, edgy, people were going to do it either way. So it's just like the introduction of that, especially when I remember before the popularity of iDubbbz, like before that particular, like it was like a Tana Mojo video when he went after Tana Mojo and said it to her face at one of her cons. When that video came out, like a year prior to that, no one said it in my high school. When that video came out, all of a sudden I was just like, because they came out in the summer when I went to my senior year. when we're going to school, like the first like few weeks, and I'm just hearing the word, I'm looking around like, I don't see my people though. I hear, and it was just kind of, it was
That's
kind of
crazy.
wild. So yeah, that's kind of more like the kind of, I want to like discuss like the kind of what does it look like to heal, particularly because like my whole like I had this talk with FD once, but it was like, I love that you taught that he's on the Palestine, but what are you doing? And I'm using the word blackwards. I with FD I said a different word, but you know, what are you doing for Black folks that you did step on? And that is, I think they kind of just on how Black people see it. He made his apology and just moved on into being
Yes.
really quick to well accepted and within spaces, and didn't really have to do much else but give the bare minimum, which is a sorry. That it's like, I look at it this way, like it's like you giving me food that you had in the microwave that was in the microwave for like cold. You're giving me cold food that you microwaved that's like hours old. You're like, here, you know,
Yeah. The
and I'm
damage hasn't
supposed
been
to take it
repaired.
and eat it and be happy. Yeah. So I think when we get to that understanding of like, I'm not like people when people talk about, particularly Black folks on this, like we're not trying to cancel him. We're glad he's on the left. We just think there's still things that he can also do. I'm not saying right this second or whatnot. I'm not trying to like, oh, like juggle this and that at this moment, but I'm like, you didn't do nothing during February during Black History Month. You should do something this year with creators and put emphasis on that. Stuff like that, having fundraisers, boost it. Like there's things that he can do that directly goes to the Black community and not just fundraise and then give it out to like general organizations that help general people, but that's not directly to like the people you've harmed the most, which was, you know, the damage that till this day, like the N-word is they destroyed it, the N-word, and now it's included in like edgy culture because of figures like him. I mean, he only got to edgelord status by using the N-word. Like that's what put him there. That's put him in his riches, and that is can't be removed from him.
Mm-hmm.
Well said.
Very well said. And I feel like an apology offered without genuine effort to remedy the harm that was caused is more a request for absolution from the person that you've hurt
100%.
than it is genuine distress over the fact that you hurt that person, right? And I think that like when, especially when you have hurt an entire community of people with racism, with, you know, like ignorance that is targeted at people's identities, that is like objectively harmful to an entire group of people, when they're trying to be accountable, it's not you need to do this to prove that you mean it. It's we're now giving you an opportunity to develop those skills as a leftist. We're giving you the opportunity to come back into the people that you, as restorative justice is part in this kind of work. It's actually one hell of an olive branch to have people say, we want to see you back up this stated change with behavior. That's like a really nice thing for a group of people to do for someone. I hope that he receives it that way.
Can I just spring
Yeah,
off that
no,
as
no,
well?
thank you.
I just want to say, like, I completely agree, and like, there's been enough time since the apology, the iDubbbz like apology situation that was covered and stuff. Like, if any action has been taken on his side, like we should have seen it by now. If not, it's kind of too late. But to like completely agree. And I just want to also add, like, this is something that's kind of I'm thinking about more and more these days of like people that were on the right, they moved to the left, and they even if they are doing the work and everything like that, like we just have to have faith that they have changed and they're not going to go back. Almost, we're seeing it. They're like, is it Ashley St. Clair? There are a whole bunch of like the Graham Plattners of the world. The thing that really I always think about this, and maybe even iDubbbz goes into this, but kind of maybe not. I don't follow his content, so I don't know how prominent he is, but I can't help but get a little bit suspicious when you get these figures that were on the right, they're on the left now suddenly, and they demand the exact same platform and the same amount of views, attention, and monetization and everything. I think to myself, okay, you might have gone through a genuine political shift, and if so, that's fantastic. The left is here to support you. But if you demand the exact same attention and platform and for your voice to be heard, then my alarm bells start to go off, because I'm like, okay, you haven't earned your place on this side of history. Like, you're new here. Sit the fuck down, listen up, and show that you're actually, you haven't got enough of an ego to assume you know best now. Like, learn to say, hey, I don't know about this, I'm new here, and I have a bad history, like, forgive me. Like, so that my alarm goes off when they jump straight in. They're expecting the same views. Literally, they're talking about like YouTube views as if like, you can just, like, YouTube has a toggle button. Are you left or right wing? And they just turn left and they're monetizing again. I do get a bit sus, and so this is what I'm saying to link into iDubbbz. I don't think he has been as active. That might just be not having seen it. And I wonder if that comes from a sense of him genuinely thinking, okay, I need to sit down and learn a bit, comparatively to like the Sean Heads of the world. No offense, sorry to call her out, but it's
No, call her out.
I thought you were talking about Sean Head, so it's
yeah, no, totally. It comes across so fake. I'm like, oh, I can see the color under your cloak. It's going to turn any minute. Like, do you know what I mean? I don't have any trust, and that trust is not because we're not willing to give it. I think the left is an extremely over trusting side. Like, it's because fool me once, shame on you, kind of thing, or whatever the saying is. But
I think the thing with like, yeah, iDubbbz definitely created content still, and is uploading and doing other opportunities like collaborating with Hassan Piker and whatnot and other people within the left. I think one thing before I lose the thought is, I think the one, and this is one thing, to continue what you're saying before I go back to my big point I wanted to get back to was, remember, he made enough money using the N-word to buy a house, to own his home, meaning there's certain, you don't need to go rush to make your content. You can have more downtime and whatnot. He can say, prior to the apology, he was saying on podcasts that they're broke. But when he did make the apology, he became monetizable. He became brand friendly within the space, and immediately the income did. So that's what I did discuss about. Like, that's undeniable. The income did go up. And the apology came after the Creator Clash came out that it was unsuccessful. So to me, initially, I just thought it was a PR move. Not saying he didn't feel sincere about his pain about that, but the timing of the apology came at a time where he was most vulnerable, and that was the only way he can turn the ship around, was by like doing something that was earth or ground shaking, which was apologizing 7, almost 8 years later after the fact the damage is done. When you put out racism, that especially that kind of racism in the world, you never could put the same kind of goodness back in the world back. You could just never. It's just out there, and it's going to foster and grow on its own. But also, the reason why I think the quickness of iDubbbz to being embraced was because you got the Grand Plantner left. You got the people who like that he used to be edgy. They're like, oh, we got one of him and on our side now. Well, no, that's great. And like, so there's so much of that, especially amongst the American left, particularly the American white left. Because especially when it initially happened, I remember looking at all the TikTok comments of like Black people sharing how like they're never going to forgive him because of all the things that they'll never get their childhood again. They'll never get those years back, and they've had to grow and learn to love themselves after going through that. And all you see is like filled with, obviously there's Black people that agree with them, but there's, say like it's a 50,000 likes, predominantly Black folks and allies. Then you'll have like all these like white leftists that are happy that he's there, quickly from running to defense and arguing immediately, just like that's their mode, no matter what it is. And it's like constantly that. So because that segment exists, I don't think he'll ever be like truly, I'm not even looking for him to be held accountable, but I don't think he's ever going to like rise up to the point where he needs to do that kind of work, because he has an audience that's in a way coddling him. There's just like, oh, I'm happy you're here. You know, I used to watch your content back then. I loved it back then. And cool. So I'm like that. Yeah.
Yeah, he's not listening to the voices that would let him know that he needs to do the work. So he's just, I guess, maybe it hasn't even occurred to him, which is bad in and of itself.
Yeah.
Please
I feel like it's
understand,
more concerned with.
I said what I said in agreement with you, so Bunny. I'm not like justifying him.
No.
I'm saying, like, what's he done?
Yeah, I hear you. No, 100%. Yeah, I hear you. I just, yeah, but that's pretty much like it on like when it comes to the iDubbbz. Like, I think, and I'm glad you said like I don't think he has the audience that's like pushing him. And also like, I think my more thing is that like he did have that interview with Olamide Oliran, who did push him on things and gave him examples of things he could do. And when I looked into it, he didn't. It was like a year after that interview, and he didn't do anything. And now that interview is 2 years old now, And I haven't checked again if he has followed through, and it would be potential. But I'm gonna be real, knowing white people, he likely didn't do anything. He's just, I think also because like people, there's enough like progressives that are like, because I remember seeing this, and I don't want to like name names, but when people were like kind of apprehensive of having him on the left, they were leftists with that were like, well, he's pro-Palestinian, he's changed. I'm like, but that has nothing to do with Black folks. Like, I appreciate that, but like, you trying to rush him in because it's helping your individual cause doesn't overwrite what he needs to do here, or that people do feel uncomfortable if he is there. I don't personally feel uncomfortable. I'm just speaking for the folks that understand, like, that want to see him do more before he's immediately plastered within all these spaces, and we're in a sense forced to accept him, whether we wanted him or not, especially when he's brought on Hassan Piker like a rollout and to go punch up at Ethan Klein, which is great. That still got nothing to do with Black folks, and I'm gonna keep saying that until that work is done. And I think Black folks are gonna stay on that mode. But the reality is, like, we're gonna be written off. Like, until that space, there's a lot of folks gonna write me off as a woke scold for simply saying like the apology and the damage don't match. It just don't. And till this day, I can't. I mean, now you got chuds. So you just think of chuds when they say the N word now. Like, it's 2026. Like, 2016 iDubbbz is a decade old now. Like, that is like, and that damage as we see now is like so normalized. That kind of language is normalized online, especially on streaming sites like Kick, etc.
Yeah, how do you begin to change that harm? Sorry, go ahead, Finn.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, I was just going to say something similar, that I think like it is very, it's very self-focused. Like, it is very just sort of like, it's egotistical. It's very like me and my journey. And this is another thing I'd be going off about a lot, but just like how dangerous individualism is and supremacist thinking is. The idea of hierarchies, like the white supremacist left really scares me. The white supremacist left actually scares me more right now at this current point than the white supremacist right, because everyone sees it now. Like, everyone's aware of what those guys are doing, but the white supremacist left really worries me, because it worries me that and this is why, again, we can do a whole episode of Plattner. I'm down for that. And there are already going to be people who are like, he's not a white supremacist, what's wrong with you? It's people who haven't shown that they are unpacking those attitudes, that they are showing up alongside the communities that they have hurt. Because iDubbbz went on a personal journey. Love that for him. Go off, my dude. That's great. You also changed the life of every single Black person who experienced racism because of the content you made. You carry that still. You changed, their experience didn't. Their experience got very much worse. And so just everything that you're saying, it's like, again, this is, if he's genuine about it, if he's genuine about this change and this care, then he needs to be listening to perspectives like yours. And his, if they genuinely believe that he is better, that he is changing, need to be listening to perspectives like yours. Like, this tendency for people to jump in and be like, oh, was you saying like that you're going to get told off as a woke scold? Yeah, people are probably going to do that, but it's really, really, I'm trying not to cuss because I don't want the whole stream to get taken down, but I cuss a lot. It's messed up that people are doing that. Like, it's messed up that people do that when, again, this is an opportunity for the person that you like to be better. You need to see it like that. This is an opportunity for you to learn, to relearn something that person fucked up in your head. So iDubbbz, in a lot of racism, he normalized a lot of really virulent racism in a lot of people. If you believe he's different, start changing. Start changing. Why don't you subscribe to more Black people, listen to more Black creators, listen to more Black experiences if you're one of these people who's defending him, rather than go to the Black people who are talking about the problems that he caused and telling them off for having an experience and being impacted by them. Like, it's just, I don't know. Right.
Thank you. You worded that
Sorry,
so
I didn't mean to
well.
hijack that.
No. I've said all I had to say. I love that you guys are able to feed off of what I said and like get my perspective as like the one Black person here who's like had to endure it, and just like we're like, yeah, it didn't change. Like, you're right, exactly the way it's like he on his personal journey, he's grown, but like our experiences didn't. We still have to live with the harms and whatnot.
If
I
he
mean, to this point, when I used to play, I stopped playing Marvel Rivals. I would be called the N word in Marvel Rivals. That's like it's kind of sad. Like,
it's very sad.
I had to learn that. I learned to have a thick skin in gaming online, and I that's like the one thing I can't even gauge. Like I can imagine from my perspective, like I want to bring this in. Like this is I do say this in my video, but like I remember Call of Duty lobby behavior was starting to die down, and then iDubbbz came up right when it died down and brought it right back up in a resurgence of that type of language used online. That's what I kind of mean. Like it's a bigger imp. Like when you look at it in that way, because when you think Call of Duty lobbies, I was in elementary school when that all like Xbox Live, Call of Duty shit was like a thing. Sorry, I didn't mean to say the S word. But anyways, so that's what I mean. Like by the time like I was in high school, like that kind of behavior, because before it wasn't moderated. That's why that kind of language was able to be intense on gaming spaces. But once moderation came in and whatnot, it kind of it popped up, that language popped up because of edgelords kind of stuff. So that's like it kind of kept what was finally dying down a little within the space and getting slowly more progressive, like just like how Gamergate went and like jerked around when just like went and like shifted the timeline, like, oh, you thought you were making progress, no, we're gonna go and stand in your way. And yeah, so that's kind of like how I see iDubbbz as signified. Like just like put aside him as a person, I'm like I just look at like you as like a massive force that is directly connected to like the rise of racial slurs being included with edgy language.
Which like I don't think, not to generalize, but white people have never generally will never know what that's like. They'll never know what it's like to get a racial slur in the waiting room of a game and live with that, to understand in society what that's like. And so like I think like Finn and like obviously like what you're saying, so Bunny, it's like there's a difference between apologizing for the acknowledgement that that's the case and then actually internalizing that we live in a society where that oppression is like built in, it's caked in. And like again, like the Graham Plattners of the world, like you can look back and say, hey, what I did in the army was bad, and iDubbbz can look back and say, hey, using the N-word was bad. But like if, as well as your audience, if they don't actually understand that, like if they don't fully fundamentally believe that all humans are equal and an equal playing field, and that's the basis of how you should start like working on life, then you haven't unlearned the white supremacy. And I think like Finn also said about the leftist white supremacists, you can understand Marxist theory, you can even understand trans rights, but if you haven't unlearned the idea that like all people default equal, like and white people are at the same as everyone else, and they should be, and like that's such a fundamental thing that I think so many people haven't learned. And I don't know, that to me, that the that kind of comes across in some of the actions or lack of actions in people that are on the left, apparently, because you can be on the left Marxist theory wise, but you can have not learned that huge lesson. And I think the difference starts to poke out to me. I don't know if that makes sense, Soul Bunny.
Yeah, no, spot on. I mean, but not to drag this too long, because I know you said 10 minutes and that was longer than that.
We'll wrap up after this.
Yeah, but we can wrap it up. Well, how do y'all want to wrap it up? Because I'm glad I kind of brought in this topic and we kind of like got to flesh out. I'm glad we have an understanding.
Hell yeah.
Because I think the problem is that Black people, Black viewers, we just all the time we just never got an apology until he did, and we just didn't expect it because it was so long. They just moved on with, as we call it, they just moved on with their white lives. That's about it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the usual. But I'm glad I was able to like contribute this into a conversation where I'm not being gaslit, or Black folks aren't being gaslit, that we're like overthinking and connecting that like, oh, like I don't remember the N-word being popular amongst my own generation until this kind of content popped up and became popular. So yeah, I appreciate that. I appreciate how, even though like you guys aren't Black, you guys have, because you guys are not just that you're allies, because like it's the fact that y'all done the reading, y'all done the engagement, y'all interact, y'all just don't be allies, you interact truly with other people of color, other marginalized groups of folks. So you're able to have these kinds of conversations that we're all capable of when you have that empathy to want to learn and want to grow. And I think until that empathy of understanding truly the impact, because I don't think he understands the true impact of his content. I think he says it, but I don't think he's truly understands the gravity of shifting language amongst an entire generation that didn't use that kind of language. And because of that, I think that's why it's easy for him to just amongst in these spaces. And then obviously because these spaces are still very white, my perspective is never going to be centered. It's just like, oh, he's not a bigot no more. I can take a photo with you now. Cheese, it's kind of what it was.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's one of these things, like, like I feel like people, there's a certain thing, especially like white leftists in general. I mean, and I, obviously we all grow up in a white supremacist society, and like all the rest of it, you internalize a lot of this stuff, whether you do or not. You definitely do. And I think a lot of people, they read a couple of books and they decide, well, now I'm cured. Now I know everything. Now everything I say is praxis, and I can't possibly be wrong. And I've definitely unlearned all that bad stuff. And you can try and you got to deprogram yourself as much as you want. You're still gonna fucking slip up. Like, you're gonna deny that. Like, you can't untangle yourself from the way that you've been raised in certain aspects. And I think to deny that is a real problem. And the way that like whiteness is placed above everything else in this society is going to shape how they view people and how they say things. And even, how they even apologize. Like, well, I don't need to do that. Now I'm done. Like, that's not how it should work.
So this is and I'm a budding leftist. Like, I have so much more everything that I need to learn as well, but I need to throw out a piece of advice for new leftists, especially white ones. Every book you read should make you more humble and more quiet. Every single one. Everything you learn should make you a better listener, because it shouldn't be showing you like you're not making yourself better. You are making yourself a better vessel for making the world better. And that means that as you accumulate information, as you learn, you should be hungry for other people's experiences. You should be prioritizing listening above everything else. And I realize that's ironic coming from a YouTuber who like talks at a camera monologue style. Like, I get that. But really, like, listen to other people, especially as you engage with more theory. We really need to have a Graham Plattner episode.
It's coming next.
So
We're going to have a shoe on head episode, a Graham Plattner episode.
Oh,
no. Go for it. Let's get cancelled right before we
diving head first into the drama after we talked about bad and bananas.
I mean, we started off with bad and bananas.
One.
Totally. When are we going to do a ContraPoints episode? Anyway, on that note, I'm going to take the liberty to wrap it up there, though, because we are going to try and keep this as a smaller dose, if everyone's happy with that, just so that we can make it short and sweet and consistent, because all of us by now, team chat, we could chat for easily 5 hours. But to prevent that, let's call it there when we can. And I'm so glad, Sobani, you could join at the end and add that amazing conversation towards the end, because I think that was a good one to have.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you for joining, darling. So this was the Leftwave transmission. It was a bit of a bumpy start, but hey, hopefully we're off on the ground. I'm just going to leave all the stream settings as they are. But thank you to everyone in the chat that joined. We will be rolling this out and we will be sorting out the equipment and stuff like that. So please do bear with us. But in theory, it'll be the same time next week. We will be covering the next week news. And then if not, we'll just have the Graham Plattner episode as a placeholder, I'm sure. But yeah, thank you to everyone that joined. I hope you had a good time. And anything coming up this week? Anything's being rolled out? Any content on its way? Soul Bunny, do you want to start with that?
Yeah, most likely next Tuesday. I'm gonna start my recording tonight. I've been very particular about my script because I keep updating it in aspects that. But I finally got like the last thing, which was about a segment about anime and like the red pill, why people are red pill with the anime community and are anti-black. And it's connecting to DEI, like the attack on DEI. That was like the last aspect I was missing from my script. Now that I got like that on that like writing mode, I am like finally like confident enough to like, I'm just gonna finish up my writing and start recording. So yeah, so I'm excited for particularly it takes me about like 2 days to record. Yeah, because record and edit. But yeah, I would say I'm excited.
Nice. How about you, Bridget? Anything in the pipeline?
So today I just released my thing on the EHRC guidance, which thank God we don't have time to talk about that today because it's very fucking depressing. So if you want to see
That's
me
my
with
coffee watch for tomorrow morning. Thank you. Sorry.
It's okay. Because I've talked about it before, because it's been like a year before it was when they first announced it. I do tie it into a general call for solidarity, and also tie it into the Unite the Kingdom rally, which was the week before, which is just the Unite the Right rally, but in Britain, with all your favorites. Tommy Robinson was there. Posey Parker, Kelly J. Keane was there, and I didn't realize that until I was editing the video, but Sargon of Akkad was there. I forgot that guy existed, but he was there.
Episode next week. Oh my gosh, we're getting into that, aren't we?
Yeah, and then the next one, I've got a video on the boys. It's not important at all. It doesn't matter. I just wanted to make it. That's what's coming out after that.
Okay, no, that show. I'm so excited for that video. You say that's not important. I am already like popcorn's on. Like I'm so ready. I'm so ready for this.
2 episodes from the finale episode, so I will be prepared.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh,
Don't get your hopes up too much.
Exciting.
Yeah.
How about you, Finn? Anything in the pipeline?
Oh, I wish. I keep starting things, and I feel so bad because I go on my community tab and I'm like, guys, I promise something is coming, but like I keep lying to myself. I am working and full-time in school placement, so it's like I'm doing these 60-hour weeks and I just literally don't have time. But hopefully something soon. The next thing I release is definitely going to be in the background by the time I actually get it out, and people will be like, why is this asshole talking about this thing again? That it brings up important things. So like there is something coming when I don't know. I don't know.
Keep it mysterious.
Yeah.
I love it. Same here, actually. I just finished a big series, the J.K. Rowling Everything She Did That Was Transphobic series. It was like 6 episodes long, and I'm in between videos of starting another big project where I'm just going to cover the latest things. So, and getting this off the ground. So I'm in a bit of a in between phase, and probably going to start something big next, really. And I've done a lot of nice stuff where I talk about good people. I think it's about time I did a bit of a dunk on the bad people. Some inspiration from today, perhaps. I don't know. We'll see. But okay, I'm gonna call it there. I'm gonna still be in the Discord. We can have a little debrief for anyone that wants to stick around. Other than that, chat, thank you all so much for being here. Love you all so much, and we'll see you next week.